Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for May 21st. Today we're going to talk about some of the upcoming Gen Con events that have to do with Board with Life. We're going to talk about the Spiel des Jahres nominees, and we're going to talk about the Kickstarter for the game Evolution. Let's get right to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. First off, big news of the week. I reorganized my game shelf, and it's all beautiful, and took forever, but that's a thing. Yesterday we released a bit for Coinage, a really fun micro game, and you should definitely go check that out. Let's get into Gen Con news. So registration for Gen Con events opened up this past Sunday, and there are all sorts of crazy good events, and all of them are sold out and all that stuff. But guess what? Ours aren't sold out because we didn't tell you about them until now. We've got actually 3 official events, and we're working on an unofficial one, but we'll see. But the 3 events, I'm going to link you down below, so make sure you click the links and go sign up, because we definitely want to meet you, and we definitely want to see you there. First off, Season 1 of Board with Life is in the Gen Con Indie Film Festival competition for Best Web Series. So that is going to be screening on Saturday from 5 to 6, so you definitely should come out to that. It's going to be some of the select episodes and stuff like that will be there. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be fun to hear you guys laugh, or not laugh, or groan at pop rock song cards. Second off is kind of a weird one, but we made a short film actually before Board with Life called The Cyclist that we finished during Board with Life, and it's sort of a horror themed short. It's very different. It's not funny at all. It's very tragic. But that is actually also in competition for the horror short film block. And that is going to be Saturday from 11 p.m. to 12:30 in the morning. So you should definitely come out and see that if you want to see kind of the other spectrum of what we are capable of and sometimes do. We would love to see there. And a really exciting one is Board with Life Season 2 Preview. And that's going to be Friday from 6 to 7. Oh yeah, all these are free, by the way. All these events that we're hosting are free, or a part of are free. So that is actually going to be sneak peeks, and you're going to be the very first people to see some of the new footage from Season 2. And we've got some big things kind of planned for that, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and it'll be great to kind of come out and see what you guys think about the show, and hear what you have to say, and all that good stuff. So definitely sign up for that one as well. Reminder, links down below. So get on that, because that's going to be awesome. So yeah, on to board game news. Of course, the big news this week is on Monday, the Spiel des Jahres nominations were announced. The Spiel des Jahres award, for those of you who don't know, is the biggest award given in board gaming every year. It's a German award, and it is a huge deal if a game wins that award. It means that it's going to be huge. And it is targeted more towards kind of family games or simpler games than the later award that I'm going to talk about, which is the Spiel des Jahres, which is more heavy strategy games. But here are the 3 nominees for that this year. They're Camel Up, Concept, and Splendor. Camel Up is a bit of a surprise. I don't know much about this game. I hadn't heard much about it. But it's for 2 to 8 players, and you're basically a wagering game where you're betting on camel races that are decided by die rolls. It seems fun and interesting, and I'm always down for games that fit 8 players. So it seems interesting. Up next is Concept, which is a pretty brilliant and innovative party game for 4 to 12 players. It's this interesting thing where you're trying to guess words through association, but the clues are really weird. So for example, if you're trying to get somebody to guess milk, you might put the question mark, which signifies the thing that you're trying to guess, on liquid, and then a white cube on the food icon. And so people go okay, white and liquid and food and milk. And so it's a pretty interesting game. And I was a little bit surprised that it was nominated, even though it makes total sense, but it's pretty interesting. And then Splendor, which I think Splendor is probably the front runner this year. Splendor is a card drafting and set collection game that just came out that's gotten pretty rave reviews across the board. It's for 2 to 4 players. It's kind of an engine building game. It's one of those games that's really simple on the surface, but has a lot of depth to strategy and stuff like that. So my money's on Splendor this year, but we'll see. They also released their recommended games, which are not in competition for the award, but are still good games, and those were Love Letter, which I was a little bit surprised that Love Letter didn't get the actual nomination this year. Potato Man, which has some of my favorite cover art in any game. It looks absolutely ridiculous. Sanssouci, SOS Titanic, and Volschaff. So those are, I'm sure, all great games. I haven't played all of them, but it's the Spiel des Jahres, so you got to trust them, right? Because Spiel des Jahres. Up next, the Spiel des Jahres, which is the kind of more deep strategy, meatier games. award. The nominees are Concordia, Istanbul, and Rococo. Concordia is a economic kind of deck building game. All of these had, like, on the Board Game Geek listing under their mechanics, like 8 mechanics listed. So it seems like people are really combining a lot of weird stuff these days, so that's cool. Istanbul, also for 2 to 5 players, is a sort of pick up and deliver, but also worker placement game where you have to like go and pick up your workers and put them where you want them. It's gotten a lot of really good reviews, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing that one. And Rococo is a deck building area control game as you're kind of just, you know, building engines and all that kind of stuff. So those are all interesting. And then the recommended for them are Amerigo, which is one of my favorite games of the past year or so. It's Stefan Feld, and it's just Feldian goodness of wonderful trying to luck mitigation in games, and I'm a big fan of it. Bloodbound, which has the worst cover art. I feel like I've just been talking about how bad this cover art is for like the whole year, but man, it's really bad. But it's kind of a weird nominee for this because it's like a social deduction werewolf style game. So a little bit of a surprise that that's on the recommended. Guildhall, which is great, and Russian Railroads, which is great. So again, all those games are great, and you should pick all of them up except Bloodbound because you shouldn't have that cover art on your shelf because really, Bloodbound. All right, and now in Kickstarter news. The game Evolution went live this week. It's for 2 to 5 players. It's a hand management game that takes about 45 minutes to an hour. It looks pretty simple, but has kind of an interesting twist where you have a hand of cards that are animals, and you're trying to evolve your animals, and you decide if they're going to like be really good herbivores or if you're going to turn them into carnivores or whatever. It's pretty cool. It's by North Star Games, which they've done Wits and Wagers and Say Anything. So they've been known for party games in the past. So this is their first kind of strategy game. So that's an interesting departure for them. And it is $50 right now on Kickstarter, and you should go check it out and pick it up if that sounds good to you. All right, that's the news for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I'm kind of frazzled. It's been a pretty busy past week for me, but news, times, good stuff. Go like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our channel because that's the best thing, and that's how we know, that's the only way we can feel love in our hearts. Otherwise, it's just a dark void of like black goo, and that sucks. Also, please go sign up for our Gen Con events. Again, they're free. We're all going to be there. It's going to be a great time hanging out. It's going to be great to meet you, and fun times all around. And the question this week comes from Sparkin84 via Twitter, and she asks, would you rather play a game with okay rules but exciting plastic pieces, or beautiful rules but plain wooden pieces? And that really depends on the type of game for me. I lean more towards the plain wooden pieces, but I think that's because I lean more towards dry Euro games more than, you know, American thematic games. But it just kind of depends where, for example, a game that I talked about a second ago, Amerigo, you have like nice wooden ships and wooden cubes, and I kind of want that feel for a meteor strategy game like that. I like wood in games. I like all that kind of stuff. But then there are certainly thematic games that the plastic pieces are a huge part of it. Mice and Mystics, for example, that is a huge part of why that game is so great, is that you actually have these really cute, really well done plastic pieces that immerse you in the theme of that game. And if they were little wooden things or cardboard chips, it wouldn't be nearly as good. And all that being said, Tokaido, I totally went in for their Kickstarter to upgrade from the wooden pieces to the awesome plastic painted pieces. That's also because I use that game to introduce new people to games a whole lot, and I think having plastic pieces that are really sexy and cool, I think really help to kind of get people interested in playing versus a little meeple or whatever. So it really depends on the type of game, and it depends on how I play the game, but yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week.